Hello Africans, I hope we are doing well where you are, and if you're not doing well, please do fine where you are. It's good to be fine and it's very bad not to be so fine. This is EFK original documentary. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe. This channel we majorly talk about black people, the African people, any black person within Africa and outside Africa. Some individuals, some Africans, people who have African ancestry, have problems by being called blacks. Yes, we have black people all over the world. We have black people in Australia, Latin America, in Europe, USA, Canada, everywhere. There is also many theories that are coming out that black people were the first people to go to Americas. It wasn't Christopher Columbus, or they have tried to explain how much black people have spilt themselves all over the world. So the black people in Australia Pacific are categorized into two, the Polynesians and the Micronesians. Now the black people in America are called the Black Americans. Latin America are called Brazilian blacks, Argentinian black, Guyana. We have a lot of black people, a lot of black community. But how did these black people get to these places? Professors, black professors of course, and also a few of white people have come forward explaining, or rather trying to explain, the origin of these black people in these places. The female professor from AIT, Professor Bayina Bello, was having an interview in Australia. She really put it forward that black people, wherever you are, wherever you come from, we are all one people. Black Americans, some of them do not want to be associated with Africans. Yes, they don't want that. But Bayina Bello has something new for you, you who is rejecting your origin. I want us to dive into this video, listen to what the Professor Bayina Bello has to say, and then by the end of the video, I shall share with you my thoughts, where we shall also have deep critical analysis. Let's dive in.
Aborigines. We would like to know much about, as much as we could about them. So those were the two driving interests that brought us here.
Just tell me more about your interest in Aborigines. I guess this is your historical.
That's correct.
Professional.
Well, I believe I probably said that before, we do believe that history is an unbroken line, though sometimes people don't always see it, but the line goes on and on around the earth. And as much as people may talk about these people and words like Polynesian, Micronesian, and other Nesian, I don't think, to me, these do not hold very much. It's like somebody decides to take one slight difference and then say, this is another race of folks. We have the exact opposite, whereas history is the continuum. You will find the same people, experiences may take them different places and make certain changes to them, maybe their appearance or in their culture or the traditions. But basically it's the same people. And in fact, as we study the people of Africa, we find the same thing. You take the Akan people in northern Ghana, and you find them in Ivory Coast, they are the Baule people, and you find them further down and they're something else. And so people do, as we move, and the same thing with Haitian people. We are nothing but Africans who have been kidnapped from Africa, brought into Haiti and through the experience of slavery and whatnot. Then you have, the Haitian people, but it's basically Africans. So we look for this line that tie people together. And so we don't think there is such a big difference between black people, whether we find them in what is called Asia or Australia or America. It's the same people, and if we look for the connecting line. So that's the interest that we have on the people over here. We are convinced these are brothers, and it would be interesting to identify the tie. Well, actually, Haiti's revolution did not begin in 1791. It began the day the first white person went to Africa and began to kidnap people in Africa. They did not just sit down and let themselves be taken away. They fought. They fought all the way to the boat. They fought on the boat. They killed themselves throughout the trip. They killed themselves as they get off the boat, or killed whoever was tying them up. So the fight began the day the aggression, the kidnapping, the slave mentality began to capture people. Now, and the fight went throughout, everywhere. It's not just Haiti. That's another false idea that Haiti did a revolution. But Jamaica fought a lot more than we did. Cuba has much more revolts than we did. But Haiti, the difference, Haiti succeeded. And that is what makes the difference. But all the islands in St. Thomas, 3 women freed St. Thomas in 1773, took it away from the Dutch for almost a year before they were recaptured with the help of France and British Army. The Dutch put the island back into slavery and arrested the 3 women. But people don't know about that. Throughout Brazil. So the revolution is all over. It's not the Haitian revolution. The Haitian revolution is just one tip of the revolution against slavery that went throughout the world and received its first major success in Haiti. I would have to say, in the last period, the last string of battles that began in 1492, we have to take 3 characters, 3 major people and their surrounding. We have to take, if we take the man, we'll have to take Boukman Duty, who's from Jamaica, whose mother was a great revolutionary woman, was a Muslim woman. And the reason he's called Boukman, the man of the book, is because his Holy Quran that he refused to give up when they sold him out here. So the slave maker burnt the book on his skin. So he was all burnt up all in here, but the mark of the book stayed here. Why Boukman? And since he was purchased by Mr. Duty, then his name became Boukman Duty, the man of the book of the duty. Now for us, nothing, there is no such thing as chance and hazard. So there is a reason why this man, who's going to come from Jamaica, grow up here, become from a Muslim to a Unga, participate actively in giving, being the what do you call, a tremplin, being what you jump over to push the last battle, if you want, to spring, to propulse, okay, the last battle. So this Boukman Beauty, what is he going to say to us? He's going to say to the Haitian people, God who has created the sun, who governs the wind, the clouds, he is your father. And he demands that you put an end to this thing here. You must avenge the wrong that has been done to you. Now, we have no other word from Boukman but that one speech that he did on August 14, 1791. So this is the man who brought the word, the clarified word that must be materialized. Fine. And of course, with this, a whole string of fighting and activities begun towards the final march for freedom. Now we're going to go to step 2. We're going to get to a man called François Dominique Breda, born so-called in slavery. But I say no, he was born out of slavery, but when purchased, as they usually do, they changed his name to François Dominique Breda. Fine. He is going to grow. As he began to come into himself, he gets rid of the François. And what is the meaning of the word François? François means that which belongs to, is relative to France and its people. He gets rid of François. We find him Dominique Breda. He continues to fight. He gets rid of Dominique. And we find him Dominique, which means born on a Sunday. And we find him Toussaint Breda. And he gets rid of Breda. As he comes to full knowledge of who he is and take his role as the one who opens the way and traces the road to independence, we find him Toussaint l'Ouverture. Toussaint, the one who has the powers of all the saints, l'Ouverture, to open the way. So, as we step 2, he does his job of opening the way and tracing the road. What do we find him doing in the last minutes, the last days of his existence here?
We do not find Toussaint fighting to stay in power. We do not find Toussaint begging Leclerc to keep him here. We find Toussaint fighting so Dessalines will be named a divisionary general. We find him fighting for Christophe to have another rank. We find him fighting to place everybody where they should be. And his last word here in Gonaïves to his godfather, Pierre Simon Baptiste, when Pierre Simon Baptiste asked him, Toussaint, so you're leaving us here. Toussaint smiled and say, don't worry, everybody's in their post. The victory is already there. And he stepped onto the boat.
So then, Toussaint accomplishes his mission and goes. And then the next person steps on. It is what they call history, which we call our story, which is the story of all life forms on a particular space. So, the R story is a string that goes on forever. There is no cutting this string. So, Toussaint does his work, and the next guy step up to lead the work of the people that are involved. People from Jamaica, people from Grenada, people from all over the islands have found ways to come in and participate. African Americans from the United States have come here and fought in this battle over here. But all of this is sort of obscured when you have these individual type situations. Women, Toussaint Louverture says to us, women represent more than a third of all fighting troops. Children are the first people to step on any battlefield. Where are they? In the his story that they gave us. We don't see them. But let's go on. The third step is when we get Jean-Jacques Dessalines as the leader. Now this is the person, again, when we take all the stuff they say about him is really, well, but one of the things, the man speaks Yoruba. He makes a choice to have all his closest people Africans, which as a very humorous person, he called his closest troops who are just recently arrived Africans. He called them the Polish troop. Why? Because he says they speak Haitian as poorly as the Polish speak French. So, this is the man who's going to structure the final blow. This man is born for this, raised by a military woman, Agbaraya Toya, whose name as Tantoya, he calls Tantoya, and everyone in that period called Tantoya. This is this military woman from Dahomey who raised him all alone and reminded him throughout his life that his destiny is to bring liberty to this land, and gave him the proper training in military and philosophy and spiritual and mysticism as well. So when in this training this man is prepared, the time has arrived. He has been a perfect soldier under all those who came before him. He was an absolutely obedient lieutenant, captain, and colonel to Toussaint Louverture. He has received all his formal military functioning, training, and regulations from Toussaint. He does not do anything that Toussaint does not ask him to, that Toussaint does not order him to, until Toussaint is no longer there. Then it is evident to everyone there is no other person to replace Toussaint and take the lead of the people's movement, and that is this man, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Now, spiritually, when we analyze, just like we analyze Toussaint, and in our own spiritual language, Toussaint is a Legba in Vodou. By his name, by his functioning, by his physical appearance, by his speaking all the languages that he spoke, by everything he did, he is a pure living Legba. And as we analyze Jean-Jacques Dessalines, he is an Ogun. Ogun is what? That is the principle that brings, once you've set up an objective, once the collectivity has established an objective, then Ogun bring this objective to quick materialization. That is his work. And this is the mission of this man, Jean-Jacques Dessalines.
And that's what he does. He says, all right, so now we're not afraid to say the word independence. You guys are ready? He is going to use it one of the first time publicly on March 25th, 1802 in Cretaquewo, when he tells the people, even if you see me submit myself to French domination and authority 100 times, know that 100 times 100, I shall betray them. I promise you, I will give you independence. March 1802. He puts out his word, and his word is bond, and bond is life, and he shall give his life before his word shall fail. So Jean-Jacques Dessalines takes us to January 1st, 1804, Declaration of Independence. Declaration of Independence for the island of Haiti. Dessalines never spoke of a part of an island. The island of Haiti. Freedom for everywhere. When he made his security plans for structures and fortresses to be built, he made them for the entire island. Everything he did for the island. Okay? And he also told another very important thing. He says, today we are celebrating one independence, military independence. All the other independence have yet to be conquered. He was very clear. Ogu always speak very frankly, differently from a Legba. Legba speaks in very symbolic term, and everyone can take them whichever way they are comfortable with them. But Ogun speaks in very direct term. He's usually hated or loved. Henri Christophe, when he's going to take over after Dessalines' death, then Christophe, his strength is that he picked up all of Dessalines' plans and executed them.
This is good. This is very nice. And Sister Baina Bello, Professor, our very own black sister, she's never failed us at representing black people. I can also motivate you to find more of her videos online and learn more about the history of black people, the history of Haiti, the history also of other black people around the world. Those Africans who don't want to come to the village. We have Africans who really don't like coming to the village. You tell them about going to the village, they don't like. They think going to the village is out of style. Going to the village or going to any African village is a way of connecting with your roots. We have many Africans who don't even know their mother tongue. And here is Sister Baina Bello. She's traversing the globe. She's walking around the world, teaching black people about themselves, and also herself she's learning about black people. This is profound. This is beautiful. You understand? Black people, we should be ready to accommodate our culture. We should be ready to appreciate our culture, because a lot has gone on throughout the world. We've been told our culture is bad, our culture is primitive, our culture is demonic, all that. We've been told a lot. There is some of African practices myself I don't agree with. Female genital mutilation, which we still find other African communities practicing. I do not agree with such. Early marriages, I don't agree with that. Kind of medication, I really don't trust. I don't agree with that. But going back to the village, talking to your grandmother, talking to your parents, talking to your father if they are old, going and seeing them, having a house at the village where you can rest when you go is something which is beautiful. And I wish black people would see this for what it is. Imagine somebody flying around the world teaching black people about black history. That's really, really beautiful. For Sister Baina Bello, her motive is always to teach as many as she can about black history. So you as a black person, if you want to move to the town, to other countries of Europe, but you don't want to visit your own African countries, then I guess you have a problem. Yes, you have a problem. Before you go to Dubai, visit Kenya. Or you don't have to visit my own country. Visit South Africa, visit Congo, Tanzania. At least charity begins at home. The whites are moving here, visiting here, but we are living here, going there. Doesn't make sense at all. Before you go outside, try your home. That is the way I believe things are supposed to be done. I guess and I believe that what Sister Baina Bello has told us about the Haitian history and what she's told us about the Aboriginal is the same. Black people, wherever we are the same. We share the same genetics. We are from the same people. And remember one thing: the origin of man is from Africa. Yes, a lot of scientists have proven that Africa is where it all started. At least Africans, we have something to be proud of. I'm feeling uneasy today. I'm gonna end the video here, and if you have any thoughts, share your thoughts on the comment section. I'll surely appreciate. See you in the next one.